don't really even pay much attention. Like, I often have checks that have come in from studios, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even get paid for that. I didn't realize it. Because I pay no attention to that. I just love so much. I'm so grateful to God for the chance to do what I do. And the best part of it is to interact with you guys. So, let's take some questions. Yes?
So, the line that Tommy said the mom has to come from the very first episode, because of Harvey, you're going to have to
Yes. Ready? Are you recording it? You're going to have to work hard to pay off that debt, my little nerd. Okay, who's got a question? Edward and Shades. Yes. I do alchemy in my sunglasses. Yes. What's your question, sweetheart? Uh-oh. That's not a good way to start a question.
You're gonna hate me for this.
Never. I love you. No. Listen, your question. Listen, let me tell you guys about this line. Gary, you're probably wondering, right? What the world? Several years ago, I made up a line about another character in this show. And it was meant to be a joke. And I said it, and then the next convention I went to, the fans were like, say that line again. I'm like, aren't you cute? Okay. And I'd say it again, and then the next con, and the next con, and then it turned into a cancer. And it ate away at the fabric of this nation. So I swore last year I would not say it anymore. I mean, they started asking other voice actors to say it. It had nothing to do with it. So I love you guys madly. You know I love you, but that line must die. Yes, sir.
What's the line? Roy Mustang looks dead sexy in the miniskirt.
What? Oh, make it a ringtone. Did I make it a ringtone? No. I thought I did. Okay, I'll work on that. You got it. Yeah, what's your
I heard you recently relocated to Los Angeles. I was curious if that's true, and what was that transition like for you?
Well, yes, I'm currently living in Los Angeles. I still am. That's right. I'm stalking you. You didn't even know it. See, you thought you all came in here to see me. I came to see you. But you know what? I was seeing my lovely Michelle here, and you know, long distance gets a little difficult. I was living in Houston and working at Funimation in Dallas and ADV in Houston, and little by little I was working more out here, and so I decided that I would come out here to be closer to her. Did you hear that? To be closer to her, and also, I still own my home in Houston. I make no apology. I love Texas, I do. But I do. It's a great state. I love it. But I'm here most of the time when I'm not doing events somewhere else, and having a great time, getting the chance to work more in Los Angeles. You know, there are a lot of series and productions that are done in LA, and it doesn't matter how much work you've done. If you don't live here, you don't get cast. I mean, they want you right there where they can call you and say, can you come in this afternoon and record 2 hours? And you gotta be available. You can't be like, well, let me get on a plane and buy a ticket and spend $1,000, you know, on a plane fare and fly. You know, you can't do that. So it wasn't until I moved here that I actually started getting more work in series things like Kakaishi and Vampire Night, stuff like that. So, yes, my dear, with the signage. What? What? It's a love note with anthrax in it. Thank you, sweetie. Hey, can I ask you guys a small favor? I know there are a lot of questions here. And my voice is so shot from the concert, and we're going to be doing several hours of autographs after this. So let me ask you guys, instead of like say this line and yell this, and can we, let's have questions. Any, like a question about something that like we can talk about. Awesome question. What's your name? Jackson, thank you, bro. Yes, I am. Honey, get Jackson's address and phone number. You know what? Let me tell you the answer to that. When we finished the first series, we were so happy the way it ended, because it ended strong. You know, a lot of TV shows, they drag them on to try to make more money out of them, and the plot just goes down the tubes. It just becomes dumb. And so while we were all sad that Full Metal ended, we were glad that it ended strong. And none of us had any clue that there would be another series. And then years go by, and they decide to make one based on the manga. And I was very excited about that because I heard the manga was really good. And so when we started, there was a little bit of fear about what if it's not as good? You know, what if the music or the writing or whatever, what if it's just not as strong a show? So, and what if I'm not as good? I mean, what if I just don't do as good a job as I did the first time? It just doesn't happen. So it's kind of scary. You know, it's kind of like when you're playing on a Little League ball team and you hit a home run, and the next time you come up to bat, what is your teammates expecting you to do? Hit another one! You know, no pressure, right? So, when we started Full Metal Brotherhood, I was kind of scared and hoping that it would come out good. And then within a few episodes, I was falling in love with Full Metal all over again, and I adore it. But as far as which one's better, you can all have your opinions, and that's totally cool. If you like one over the other, my personal opinion, in my mind, as Ed, I see it all as one big Full Metal adventure. Okay? That's the way I look at it. When Edward goes to Xerxes, I'm thinking, cool, Ed's going to a new town. Or when Ed meets Ling or Mei Chang, whatever, I get excited to see new characters. It's new adventures. It's the further adventures of the Full Metal Alchemist. So that's the way I look at the series. To me, it's all one big series. All the way in the back with the bleach hat.
Alright, this is going to be one of the dumbest questions you ever hear.
I wouldn't be sure, brother. I've heard a lot of interesting questions. What's your question?
What do you think has a better bald head, Ikaku or Ted Armstrong?
Well, you know what? Who's got a better bald head, Ikaku or Armstrong? Well, Armstrong's does sparkle a little bit.
Armstrong.
But you know what really sells it? Armstrong is proud of his head. Ikaku, conversely, is embarrassed about, he doesn't like to be teased about being bald. In fact, anytime anybody gives me a bleach book to sign with Ikaku on the front, I'll usually like draw hair on him. Usually an Elvis pompadour. Question. Yes. With the awesome hair. With the hair that looks like it's being sucked up inside. Yes.
From the reliable source of YouTube, I know that when asked, sometimes you will reenact a notorious coffee scene from Oron High School Moose Club. And I know you said that you didn't want to do quotes, but I've been wanting to ask you this for months.
What do you think? I guess we should do it then. Come on here, sweetheart. Do you know your lines?
I do.
Okay, you ready? This is a scene from Oron High School Moose Club.
I'm afraid my father would be mad at me if I drank this coffee.
What if I let you drink it from my mouth? That's why she was waiting for it. Please, a legitimate question. Yes.
What was the first voice acting role you ever did?
The first role I ever played was Vega in Street Fighter 2. Yeah, he was pretty cool. It was fun. I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, this is freaky. It's weird. My voice is coming out of this guy. But yeah, I sure loved it. It was fun to get involved in it from the very beginning. Yes, sir. Yes. Well, no, I don't think I said voice acting was twice as hard as stage acting. I think I said voice acting was twice as hard as prelay voice acting. Let me explain, you guys. What we all do is we dub shows that have already been animated. So the characters are done. Their mouth movements, the rhythm of their lines, their body movements, it's done. It's not changing. So our goal, which is a very difficult goal sometimes, is we've got to deliver a believable, honest performance within a very, very strict confine of the mouth movements and the mouth flaps. Whereas, as opposed to prelay, which means the actor comes in and does the line any way he wants. Takes as much time as he wants, pauses wherever he wants. And then the animators animate to his performance. Well, now for dub actors, that's a walk in the park. That would be a dream come true. Because most of us are actors first and foremost, and it would be wonderful to be able to perform the line the way we want to perform it, as opposed to matching the mouth movements. So while a lot of people can get into a booth and mechanically match the mouth movements, as opposed to mechanically match the mouth movements, see the difference? One sounds like you're matching, and the other one sounds more fluid. Those are so... That's my sexy saxophone theme song. While one you are technically, mechanically matching the mouth movements, that's only half the battle. The other half is making it sound believable and making it sound like you're actually talking. Making those pauses and those rhythms work fluidly. But it's definitely not twice as hard as stage acting. It's a completely different set of skills. You know what? If I were stage acting right now, I could stand here just like this. And you would be, he's pissed off about something, right? I didn't say a word, did I? That doesn't work in voice acting. My body language, my gestures, my facial expressions, none of that matters in voice acting. So it's a different set of skills, if you will, okay? And most good voice actors are good actors. They spend a lot of time in acting. And that's why they're good at what they do. In fact, a lot of you may not know this, but you guys, any of you old enough to remember when anime dubs were really bad? Yeah. Do you know why they were really bad? They were really bad because way back then, the common thinking was, the common school of thought was, well, let's get radio guys. People that are used to being in front of a microphone. Hey, it's 25 after 10 on WK. So they got people who were voiceover guys to do the voices. And while their voices are resonant and articulate, they're not actors. So the dubs ended up being kind of lame. And it wasn't until 10 or 12 years ago when some production companies started saying, hey, why don't we try casting actors to play these characters? And that's when dubs exponentially improved in their quality. All the way in the back with the striped arm. I think Mao...
I kind of lost him.
I think Mao thinks he's a lot more powerful than he really is.
I lost him.
Wouldn't you agree? I don't think he's as powerful as he thinks he is. And conversely, Ed is pretty powerful with his alchemy, so I would have to say Ed would win.
Damn it, Ash.
But
Sit down.
I think they would be friends. I think they would start to fight, and right as Ed is about to do some major alchemy, he's like, hey, why don't we be friends? And Mao would be like, you know, never! Yes?
I was wondering, what was the hardest voice actor character that you had to do?
Are you Erica? Hi, Erica. That's what I love about wearing badges. You can see people's names. She thought I was magical for a minute there. She's like, oh, he knows my name.
Oh my god.
I don't want to tell anybody I read their badge. I don't want them to think I'm magic. Well, you know what? The hardest role I've ever played, and only because it was vocally hard, was Broly from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I see that.
It was hard because, I mean, it's like, you know, why don't you just, you know, drag razor blades over your throat for 4 hours?
Can you throw something at
It
him?
was really hard, and I'd never done a character like that before. When they asked me to come up to Funimation and be in Dragon Ball Z, I was like, sweet. Dragon Ball Z, yeah! And then I got up there, and it was like, scream for 6 hours. Scream. Now look at that. I mean, how could he not have a freaking screaming crazy voice when he goes Super Saiyan? So I got up there.
My poor vocal cords.
Hanging out, doing all Kakarot stuff.
I can't.
Super Saiyan and everything. Wow. An army of Brolys. I will send you out against the zombie apocalypse. But I went up there and I did what I always do. I just kind of threw myself into it, poured my heart into it, let it rip. And in about an hour, I couldn't make a sound. I was scared because there was a lot more left to record. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not cut out for DBZ. And so even now, when I go to record Broly for video games, you want to know what our formula is? Record for 15 minutes, break for 5 minutes. Record for 15 minutes, and then take a break. Because your throat is a muscle. How many of you guys work out? What happens if you lift? Lift, lift, lift. After about 10 or 12 reps, what happens? The muscle fatigues. And it tires out. If you push it too far, you'll pull it or you'll strain it. So when you yell, and the muscles tighten up and they get fatigued, you gotta let them rest a little bit. Because if you push it too hard, then you sound like this.
I'm gonna kill Ash.
Let's see. Yes, I'm here.
Ash.
I don't know why Ed hates milk. Unless it's in stew, right? Yeah. And then it's good. But you know what? I love milk. I do. Somebody ought to make a fan drawing of Ed with a milk mustache. Okay, I'm trying to mix it up here, so I just asked her. So, yes, with the umbrella of doom.
When you first auditioned in Sonic Colors, which character do you do? Sonic or Shadow?
Well, I auditioned for those roles, but I ended up getting cast as a 123 Omega, the robot. I loved it. It was totally like the Lost in Space robot. It was awesome. Dr. Smith, Dr. Smith. It was awesome. I loved it. But yeah, I was excited to get into Sonic too. Sonic's another one of those iconic kind of characters. Yes, my dear. Ooh, you're homunculus, aren't you? You guys look awesome. What's your question? Yeah.
I know that you really love making music. I know you're afraid it's really important to. Do you ever consider making a worship CD?
I can't believe you asked that. I get that question a lot. Well, you know what? I'll scare you guys a little bit and tell you that I used to lead worship at my church for many years. I played the piano and I led the band, and I did it for a long time. And I love that. I've written a lot of those songs, and I appreciate you asking that, sweetheart, because I actually intend to. There's a cool variety of songs on some of my other CDs, but I'm gonna take that under advisement. You need to make a worship CD all the way in the back. Hi. Are you Prince Ling?
Yes, I am.
I knew I recognized that. What can I do for you, my dear?
So, in Brotherhood, there were a lot of brand new characters. Which one was your favorite?
Well, you know what? I gotta say, I love Todd Abercorn. He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah!
Even though he's freaking playing Italy. Bastard stole my Italy. You know what's funny about me and Todd? I gotta tell you. Let me tell you a funny story. Let me tell you a funny story about Todd.
The tribute.
A lot of you don't know this, but ATV Films originally had the license to Sergeant Frog. And I got cast as Keroro. I was playing Sergeant Frog, and we recorded like 15 episodes of it. And it was my favorite thing ever. It was so much fun. I gave him like a speech impediment stuff. It was so funny. We had so much fun doing it. And then ATV went out of business, which means they lost all of their licenses, and it went to Funimation, and Funimation just kind of started over from scratch, and Todd is now playing Sergeant Frog. So I always tease him all the time about, you know, Sergeant Frog. And then, you know, we become really good friends over the last few years. And in fact, some of you may or may not have seen our tribute videos. Yeah. I am working on the next one, and it's going to be epic. Epic. But Todd and I were working on a production. We were working on a Star Trek production, actually, and I made a little tribute video for him on my laptop, like while we were sitting there, and it literally was a black screen with white letters that said Todd Havercorn, but this music. It's all dramatic music. Well, then Todd made one as a retaliatory strike, if you will. And then I made one, and he made one. But each time he made one, he would kick it up a little bit. And then finally he made one with, like, he got other voice actors in on it and everything. So I'm like, okay, I see how it is. You would play, all right. So I made, you guys gotta go check it out. I made a commercial for the Todd Havercorn action figure.
That was amazing.
It's great. It's awesome.
Just take these tiny crowns.
I mean, I wrote a jingle for it and had a blast with it. In fact, Ralph did the voiceover for it. And he was like, get rid of those Twilight dolls. Throw away that Vic Mignogna plushie. Make way for Todd Havercorn. And then the singers go, the greatest action figure in the world, Todd! It was so funny. Go check it out. But I made that, and then Todd's like, no, I'm not done. I'm coming back. So he made this.
Oh, the CSI.
I don't want to do that. He made CSI Mignogna. And I mean major production value. I don't even know how much time he spent working on this thing. It's crazy. But he thought that would be the end of it. No. I've got some plans for something very big. I'm working with several people in town here to do it and trying to make it happen. It's going to take some time and effort, but it will happen. Now, who asked that question? You did, right, Ling? Right. Okay, so let's mix it up a little bit. Yes, my dear. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you asked one, right?
Well, you were saying earlier that Brawley was really hard on you. How is it now that you got to build the theme song to Dragon Ball Z Kai?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Well, I love that song. Did you come to? Were you ever come to the concert? I sang the Dragon Ball Z Kai song at the concert. Yeah, I love that song. That's a fun song to sing. How many of you guys? You know, a lot of you guys that are Dragon Ball Z fans, you all know Broly. But nobody ever knows that I also played Berger in the Ginyu Force. Yeah, he's a little known. He's one of those ones that gets lost. But all right, Italy, I'm going to show you some love. I'll show you amore. Amore.
Okay, so me and my brother got you something cute and we want you to have it.
I don't know.
Grazie. Much grazie. Can I share them with everybody? All right. I will have these at my autograph session and we will share them. Oh my gosh, they look yummy. Maybe we won't share them. Oh, Stein, you look awesome. Yes.
So you've done 3 characters stand out in my mind. You've done Tamaki, you've done Edward, and you've done Spirit Allbar.
Love Death Sight. Love Spirit.
Yes.
Who was the most bipolar of all of them?
Spirit,
Who's the
man.
most bipolar character?
Tamaki is. Spirit isn't that much.
Oh, come on.
Compared to Tamaki?
Bipolar. Hold on, let me think about this.
Tamaki, like, one
You think
second you
so?
can be sad and then...
It was
Tamaki!
It was Tamaki, Death Sight, and what was the third one? Oh, Ed, he's not bipolar.
He's not bipolar at all.
He's just short.
Oh.
I would say, let's see.
Tamaki!
Yeah, I think we agree, Death Sight. Yeah.
Yes! In your face!
You know what? Tamaki's not bipolar, he's just insecure.
It's different.
Insecure. Alright, yes, my dear.